Good afternoon, traders. This is Brad Matheny. It's still morning out here, actually, California, 10:30. Look at this beautiful move, this beautiful setup, right down to where I suggested, trying to fill the gap, partially filled the gap, rolled back higher into this move, back above our resistance support channel, this dashed orange line. Closed above that, got above it after a little bit of rejection, but just absolutely perfect. Rallied back up to this dotted line, which again is major support and resistance. Let's come over here and take a look at where this dotted line comes from. Very important that you understand what we're looking at. Going to have to go very far back to get to that dotted line, it looks like. All right, let's come all the way out to a 4-hour. And that dotted line, ladies and gentlemen, come back over here and try to find it. Looks like that dotted line is right here. There's our orange dash line. There's our green dotted line. And that green dotted line comes all the way down off this channel, back across here, reaching this high back on March 28th, 2024, roughly. So it is, again, a price channel line. Very important to understand how price moves within these channels, particularly as I showed you with the standard deviation channels, or what's called the linear regression channels. Now, we come back out over here and look at this move, okay? Nice solid move back up here to the upside. We're seeing how this plays back out. This is 4 hours. So this was our morning move below our midday or first. So let's go back actually to 30 minutes. You can see this move right through here, back up to the dotted line, stalled out. Remember, that was that upward channel. And now we're moving back lower. So where are we at right now? We're kind of in this setup. We've got a couple hours to go, 2.5 hours by my count till the end of the day. And what I'd like to see happen at this point is I'd like to see support hold above this channel here, this lower channel, and potentially move into a little bit of a squeeze near the end of the day. Now, I could have possibly moved that a little bit like this, but that's kind of what I would like to see happen here. I would like to see us make an attempt back above this A level, being back above the major bullish level by the end of today. I think that would be a very solid move, and it would give us a very solid opportunity potentially for something like this tomorrow. Now, we come back over here. Let's take a look at the levels. This is my custom index, my custom code called the pressure system. Pressure system has been long, almost all day long here. This is a 2-minute chart. We are now looking at a bearish side trend here at 541.29. So I will modify this 541.29, and this is going to be bearish. So we'll change this to background. It's going to be light red, and that's going to be this area right here. We're now long here, so we're going to be looking at a bearish level at 541.28. Imagine that, 541.28. Background bearish. We had just gotten up into this area here. We are still looking at 549.45. So 49.45, and that is for a bullish trigger. So how should I put this? We are long, we are short, and this is our trigger. So let's go ahead and just leave this as short and this as long. and this as long. So this tells you, again, kind of where we're at. And this is the line that we're protecting being long. This is the level that we're protecting being short. And this is our level that we are protecting, 554.71. Being short, 554.71. So understand, ladies and gentlemen, we are still short on the longer terms. Okay, we had a big, beautiful counter trend move here. You can see this, you can see it very clearly here in this upward trend. Big, beautiful counter trend move. Again, same thing here. Big, beautiful counter trend move, but we are not yet above the ultimate 382 levels. The ultimate, we just got above them here. Okay, so let me correct that. We are long. Ultimate 382 is going to be down here, 541.25. 541.25, and we are long. Okay, making great strength, upward movement to the upside. This has just changed now to long. So we are now looking for that upward move here to build momentum. Arcing upward move here. Maybe not quite like that, but building momentum to the upside as we expect to see some upward trending. We're going to get some decent triggers here playing out over the next couple of minutes here. You can already see we're above the adaptive Bollinger Band trigger. The new pressure system is turned bullish, just starting to cross over here. Green right here. We are below right now the what's called the unique triggers, which are these intermediate triggers here, but above the ultimate triggers here. We're starting to get some real solid confirmation. And then, of course, we're getting these anchor bars here, which is indicating upward trending. We are, again, above the ultimate 382 levels, not quite above the Bollinger Band levels yet here on this 5-minute chart. In fact, we have basically stayed bullish from this level. So here was our breakout bullish on the Bollinger Band, adaptive Bollinger Band levels. Here was a secondary breakout. Consolidated back here, but even though it looks like we crossed, we didn't cross below this level. So we are technically still bullish throughout this entire trend. I'll draw this like this from basically, well, it depends on how early you took the trigger. The filter, the pressure filter got long in this area, but I would have been very mild, very small position in my long trade. But we've been in this trade now like this, just consistently long, and just really just riding this whole thing out. Even this pullback, this red here, we got bearish, but we were above the ultimate 382 level. So this is a very like a very small position pullback trade. This was not a major downward trend move. And we are not yet in a downward trend move. We have yet to break below this level. We're just getting the pressure system, which is ultimate short term. So we'll see what happens. And again, this thing just went into bearish mode, bullish mode, off of this deep pullback, this deep rotation, which means this won't be too much further behind, probably by later today. So again, we are bullish on the 2-minute, bullish on the 5-minute, and bullish on the 10-minute with these triggers: 421, 441.29, 441.28, and 441.25, all as protection levels. Why did that 441 level, 25 level roughly, come up as the major level? It's because Fibonacci is based on price, not based on indicators. It's based on price action. So these are all now common levels that have shown up on each interval telling us that we watch this 440 on 541.25 or 541.28 or 29 as the key level to watch for upward trending. Okay, so we come back over here. We look at our standard deviation. This is a daily chart. You can see, folks, that we're moving into that consolidation range that I suggested off of the midpoint level. I'll come down here to 1 hour, and you can see it won't be able to draw everything, but you can see the support level I suggested was critical for us to hold, was right in this area, and I suggested we would see a move up to into this area to try to find support. That may take through the rest of this week and into next week. But again, once we get up into this lower channel, call it this area, we get back above this gap, anywhere into this area, this is very solid as a move back up above support. So be aware that as we move back up into this area, this is very solid to avoid this gap. You see how we've got this double gapping scenario here. Very clean window where price will likely come back up to refill that gap, meaning come into here, find some support, and then maybe rally back out of it. So everything's looking pretty good for what I anticipate with the SPY cycle patterns. We are looking at right now at our temporary bottom. Our top resistance in counter trend mode will be, just like today, a temporary bottom rally type mode. Then we get our flat down bar on Monday, very mild. We get a pop in carryover, which is typically a fairly strong upward bar. Then we get a bottom rally start in counter trend mode, which could look like resistance. Then a base rally, then a breakaway. So here we go with a next week. We're looking at a flat down, a pop, which is typically a pretty big bar to the upside, a bottom rally in counter trend mode, which will be basically a top resistance and a downward trend. Then we get a base rally, which is an upward trend, and then we get our breakaway in carryover trend. So really kind of looking like we're going to see, if we were to do next week, let's see if I can do it via bars here. If I were to look at what I think is going to happen tomorrow, we'd be looking at something like this. So 25th, 26th is right here. So what I would be looking at for tomorrow is some kind of a rotation back up maybe into this area, green, upward trending, and 4. And then we get the flat down on Monday, the 29th, which is going to be a little probably like this, fairly flat down. Then we get the pop bar on the 30th. Probably a pretty strong upward pop. Maybe not quite that big, but let's scale this down a little bit. Can see V. And then we end up getting the top resistance bar on the 31st. So this would be our kind of rollover bar. And then we get the, let's see, down here, bottom start, counter trend. And then we get the base rally and the breakaway. So then we get the base rally. Oops. Base rally here off of that low, maybe even a little higher. And then we get the breakaway that takes off. So there you go. That kind of gives you an idea of where we're at. And today's, of course, bottom rally, or bottom reversal. You can come in and see it. Today's move is a temporary bottom. in trend mode and tomorrow's top resistance in counter trend mode. I already took into consideration here. So this is kind of like the same type of pattern, just basically setting up a very solid rotational base bottom. And there you go. I mean, if I got rid of this or moved this into, I don't really need it because I've highlighted it, and I've highlighted it with this box here. So you must be aware of that level, and you must be aware of this level, the actual gap itself. And what I do in this type of a gap mode is I'm looking at both gaps, okay? But I'm really more concerned with the filling of this minor gap. So understand this gap here, that's really the area that price is going to rip right through. Okay, price is going to rip right through this minor gap area. When it gets there, I think it's going to fill it by basically just rallying like a banshee right on up through it. And we'll see now. Like I said, we're holding at these levels. We'll go back to daily. We're holding at these levels. We're off of this deep low, this 3% standard deviation or regression channel low. And we've got these gapping patterns setting up intra bar. And we have this rallying phase that's likely going to see move back up above 560. We need to just see this support level hold and to break this channel. That's ideally what we're looking at right now is a move back up and to extend and break these channels. So we need like tomorrow or the next day to be up in this 552 area, and then we will have effectively broken this downward channel, this pullback. This has been a pretty solid pullback. So if you go from the peak to the bottom, you're looking at a 4.8% move. If you look from the rejection point to the rejection point, you're talking about a 3.74% pullback in the markets. This has been a fairly substantial pullback. And again, we have, based on the weekly or the daily data, we have gotten outside of this 2% standard deviation channel, and we're right in the middle of, should be a 3% on here as well, unless I altered it. 2, maybe there it is. So there is our 3% right out here. And here is our 2% weekly data. And we're just now trying to bounce off of this middle channel. So you see right in here, these two dashed lines represent the middle of our 3 and our 2% channel. So they're not quite perfect, but as far as perfectly aligned, but this gives us a very solid basing area right down in here, particularly with this 2% channel here and the middle layer of the longer term 2 and 3%. We've got a very solid basing level here and here for this potential bottom. And I think we're going to see a good solid rally out of this. So we'll see how it plays out. Let's see if anything else has changed yet. No, nothing really has changed. And as you can see, we're holding up kind of near that support level. We'll see how this plays out. I'm looking for the price to come up into this 547. Let's just say pretty much anything above 547 by the end of the day. To me, that would make me very happy. And then we would set up for the same type of pattern, a pullback possibly in the morning, setting up a base, and then a roll higher. So look for a moderate short squeeze into the end of the day. Okay, guys, we are going to let it go right there, and I will talk to you later.